Hi there, this is Scott Lowe. I'm here today at Tintri headquarters where I'm joined by the distinguished Ed Lee, one of the early creators of RAID. Welcome, thank you for having us here today and for joining us on camera.
Well, thank you for visiting us.
Very happy to be here. And we are here to talk about the Tintri Global Center and the management platform for Tintri and understand how that kind of works with the rest of the VMware ecosystem.
Okay, yes. So Tintri Global Center, one of our newest product, I think, in fact, it may have just gone GA today. It basically provides centralized control and management of all Tintri VM stores and all the VMs running on the Tintri platform within a customer environment. And the main goal for this product is as customers buy more and more VM stores and deploy thousands and thousands of VMs in a customer's environments, we wanted to make sure that the overhead of managing those VMs and VM stores didn't increase. I mean, one of the big benefits of Tintri is that we dramatically reduce the cost of managing storage within a virtualized environment. And obviously, as you add more VM stores, we wanted to make sure we keep that cost very low. So it basically allows you to monitor all the VMs in your environment. And moreover, it also provides REST-based APIs in order to allow customers to do scripting and automation. Going forward, we want Tintri Global Center to be essentially a kind of a management platform for managing all of the Tintri storage in the customer environment. In fact, we will be also providing, along with the REST-based API, a PowerShell snap-in, so that if you are already accustomed to scripting virtualization scripts using PowerCLI, you could install the Tintri snap-in in the same PowerShell session, and you could basically seamlessly transition between scripting your server-side virtual infrastructure as well as your storage side. And one of the things we found is that one of the things that Tintri is really known for is for providing VM-aware kind of abstractions and GUI and APIs for managing storage within a customer environment. So you don't have to worry about things like LUNs or volumes and so on. But what we found is that when you apply this to scripting and automation, these concepts become even more powerful. So for example, using Tintri Global Center and the REST APIs we provide, you can get, for example, a list of VMs from VM Store, filtering by whatever criteria you want, and then specify for each of those VM the storage management policies you want, the quality of service, or replication, snapshot schedules. You could basically take those objects, VM objects, and pass them onto Tintri and provide either control or just kind of policy-based management for all of this. And so basically what this means is that with a relatively small amount of scripting and very little planning, you can automate and script a lot of functionality.
How does this complement vCenter and things like that? I mean, is it ultimately intended to be a replacement for some of the vCenter functionality? And how much integration do you have with the web client and things like that? Is there any kind of integration piece of points?
Yes. Well, first of all, we expect this to be a complementary product. In fact, we expect most of our customers to do most of their day-to-day management through vCenter. And in fact, we will be releasing a vCenter plugin for the web client, which allows you to get some of the Tintri-specific stats like the end-to-end latency breakdown, as well as being able to create Tintri snapshots and clones directly from the vSphere GUI. And in terms of, and of course our GUI also provides some additional analytics in terms of how storage is being used in a customer environment. That isn't, so if the customer wants to do a deep dive and learn more about exactly what storage resources are being used, Tintri Global Center is a great place to learn that. But you could also just use it as a kind of background management platform where you're primarily running scripts or automation. And the script talks to Tintri Global Center, but the user, once you've automated it, you wouldn't really be using it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Probably the best way to kind of get an understanding for what Tintri Global Center is all about is to actually see it in action. Can you give us a short demo of what the product does and what it looks like? Yeah,
absolutely. Glad to do so. So this is the main dashboard for Tintri Global Center. Superficially, it looks very similar to the individual Tintri VM store GUI, except the colors are very different. And except that now you are seeing not just the VMs on a single VM store, but all the VMs, all the VM stores, all the EXXs, vCenters that may be in your environment, right? And you see that in this particular system, we have about 5,000, a bit over 5,000 virtual machines, total aggregate capacity of about 108 terabytes, and total IOPS of about 88,000 IOPS, right? And if you click on any one of these tiles, you can see a graph of those statistics over time. Now with Tintri Global Center, it actually maintains up to about 30 days worth of statistics instead of just the one week that you see from a VM store. So you could zoom out to a much larger time scale. As with the VM store GUI, you could also, if you see peaks in throughput or performance, and you're wondering who's using that, you could click on it, and you'll see a sorted list of VMs using it. Again, very similar to the VM store GUI, but now this is being aggregated over all VMs in your environment. So if there's any kind of bottleneck or abnormalities anywhere in your environment, you will see it. And we found that these kind of top 10 or 20 lists that kind of highlight the outliers scales very well. Whether you have 10, 20 VMs or you have thousands of VMs, right? So this is one of the reasons why we focus on this. Also, starting with Tintri Global Center, we're starting to provide some analytical capabilities. So in order to allow the customer to more easily learn about what VMs are doing in their environment, which ones are the busiest, which are the largest, which tends to use most resources when, right? So kind of the start of an analytical capability. And you see here we have about 21 VM stores being managed by this Tintri Global Center. It's very easy to add additional VM stores. So you could go here, just click on the plus button here, type in this host name. So very, very easy to add additional VM stores. Also, you could also dive into more of a per VM view of the system. So this will bring up a list of all of your VMs in the system. Obviously, it won't display it on the one screen.
Right.
But you can page through them. But one of the things we've learned is that when you have 10,000 VMs, it's really tedious to page through them. It's like driving through the desert, right? You see the same terrain over and over again. So with Global Center, we've provided extensive capabilities for sorting, filtering, viewing additional columns, so forth. So for example, there's a lot of additional data here that you can expose, and add to the display, right? And also, if you go to any of these columns, you could sort by. So I could sort by, for example, latency to identify any potential problem VMs, or by IOPS to see who's using the throughput. I could click on individual VMs here to see additional statistics and graphs for those VMs. I could click on these tiles to get additional information. And then you could also specify the filtering option, and you could filter by a variety of criteria. So for example, maybe you want to make sure that all your VMs are properly protected, so they're all being snapshotted. So if you click on this button, then you'll see all the VMs that don't have schedules. Similarly, if you click on this button, you'll only see the VMs that are being replicated. You could sort by the replication state to identify any problem VMs. This is actually one of the features that our beta customers really liked, is the fact that you could now monitor the protection and replication state of all your VMs from a centralized location, right? And very easily find any VMs that are having problems.
Very nice.
One other capability that's really nice is there's kind of a time travel feature as well. So if you were to click on this calendar view, you could select a day in the past. And once you do, Tintri Global Center will display the data as if it were that date, or even hour of the date. So if you had a glitch or problem, say last Wednesday, you could essentially set the clock back to Wednesday and then do the same analytics, right? You weren't there at the time, but you could go back and see what happened.
Well, so it looks like the tool provides a lot of capability beyond what was available before. It just basically allows more to go to the broader environment, and you get some more metrics on top of that.
Yes, absolutely. And there's some things behind the scenes as well, like you could also export all of these stats as CSV for if you want to script, take that and load it into your own management framework. And a lot of it is just like the REST APIs, which we already discussed, where you now have the capability to script and automate a lot of this storage management functionality.
Excellent, Ed. Thank you very much for showing us the Tintri Global Center. Keep watching for more videos from Tintri, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Scott.